And welcome to this edition of the Halcyon Show with a very hay fever symptomatic host, Lorne Risley. Thank you very much for joining me on this impromptu edition. I just wanted to kind of do an update video first of all, and then also make a plea, if I can possibly help it. First and foremost, as I've touched on in a previous video, my content has segued, or rather pivoted, into games coverage again. The reason for this, as I've mentioned, is because of the struggle I've had in securing interview subjects, and also my notice that interviewing content is much more prolific on YouTube than I originally thought. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the interviews. I really love doing them. I can't tell you how much I love doing them, and the guests are all amazing. I've actually become quite good friends with some of them. So I'm infinitely grateful for the opportunity that they've given me, and I also appreciate how everyone's given them a chance. Like, on balance, there's no doubt that they're more popular videos than the reviews that I've started to produce. But due to availability, and also due to the fact that I do want to continue to produce content on a consistent basis, we're now into game reviews. And I've produced, I think it's 12 videos over the last 4.5 weeks, so that averages about 3 videos a week. And I mean, that's probably a little higher than I aim for on a regular basis. I probably want to produce 1 review a week and maybe 1 Let's Play a week, depending on what I find. And truthfully, you know, at the moment, my reviews are dictated predominantly by whether or not I find something that I really want to talk about. The reviews that I produce these days, I won't produce really unless I have something, you know, on my hands that I feel really impassioned to talk about. Otherwise, you know, if I want to cover a game, it may be just a case that I do a Let's Play or a first impressions video. I know I'm not that talented at them, but, you know, it's just something to kind of get through the backlog, as it were. So I do appreciate that those aren't necessarily what people are looking for in content, but it's something that I can do just to keep the channel figures going. But I mention all this because Cyril Lachelle, my good friend over in Defunct Games, made me aware of a change that YouTube are having soon, which is that they're dropping the requirements for monetization, at least in some aspects. For the longest time, or at least within 2 weeks of me starting YouTube, which was almost 7 years ago, as of the 12th of June, I think it was about 2 weeks after I started, the adpocalypse happened, and as a result, I've never earned a single solitary penny from YouTube. I did earn money on YouTube. I earned like £1.96 in advertising revenue from YouTube before the apocalypse happened. And one of the annoying things was that, you know, when I first started, you know, it was my intention to invest every penny that I made from YouTube back into the channel. Didn't happen that way. I ended up having to invest quite a lot of my own money, just because I have demands of what I want my content to be. If I had to conservatively estimate it, I would say probably about £2,500 worth of equipment and software, plus thousands of man hours, which, you know, chargeable to a company rate, you know, is a fair chunk of change. But I've continued because I love doing YouTube. I really do. It's one of my life's great pleasures, is finding something and having something to talk about, and then trying to present it to you in a way that I think is, or I hope is, engaging. And I want to try and get to that monetization level if they are going to make it a bit easier to attain, at least in one of the prisms. However, dropping it from 1,000 to 500 subscribers is one of the requirements. And 1,000's been the requirement for a very long time, so the fact that they are considering dropping it to 500, at least for a period of time, is fabulous news. I'm currently on 393 subscribers at the moment, but reasonably confident that I can push that up to 500 subscribers if I made a concerted effort like this. The other, though, there's 2 other requirements. One of them is shorts views. You'll forgive me, I have little to no interest in producing "check out this great recipe," or just clipping Breaking Bad's greatest moments and just dubbing it over with that same fucking song over and over again. I don't have that interest, I must be honest with you. Or public watch hours. And this is the critical one. You're required to have 4,000 watch hours over the course of a year. Sounds like a lot. I say only, this is still insane to me. And I have to point out, by the way, at this point, nearly 400 subscribers to my channel, 1,250 watch hours I get. That's insane. I can't believe that I have stuff that people watch that much. That's ridiculous. But nevertheless, according to YouTube, I'm significantly short of both of those metrics. And instead of just asking people to subscribe out of the kindness of their heart and then never watching my content, because that is one of the tricks, is not only I don't need you to subscribe, I need you to watch what I produce. But the deal there is that I gotta make stuff that you want to watch. It's not enough for me to say, watch my content please. It's, okay, well what are you offering for me to watch it? So I decided to make a pledge, which is that if we can reach that magical 500 mark, and if we can share my videos around and like them, get the algorithm pushing to the kinds of people, not necessarily that you watch them, but we push them to the kinds of people that will watch them. Because a lot of the people that watch my channel are friends of mine, people that want to support me generally speaking, not necessarily the people that want to partake in my content, but you do know people that would. So I want to make this pledge, which is that if I can get to the point where I can start to monetize my content on a consistent basis, what I promise is fivefold. 500 subscribers, 5 promises. I will review more games. I will put more time into reviewing them. So I will try to go from 1 review a week minimum to 2 reviews a week minimum. I typically devote between 6 to 12 hours to reviewing a game, and that's including a production. If I can get money that I then don't have to worry about using my main source of income, which is my job, to fund this little endeavor, then I can devote more time. I'm happy to pursue more interviews. If people really do miss the interviews as opposed to gaming content, I will devote more efforts into trying to secure the interviews. The trouble is with interviews, at least with some people, they require compensation or they require a fee, which I'm not able to provide on a regular basis. The off person, I might offer it to if it's worth it. Quick side note, one person once said that they demanded £500, I think it was, for half an hour's worth of their time. And that was clearly just to get rid of me. It would have been amazing to be able to say, well look, I do have £500, but there's no way you're getting it because I'm a 300 subscriber channel. But nevertheless, one day it would be great to be a 10,000 subscriber channel and say £500 fee, not a problem at all. Live or in-person interviews, and this goes in with the 4th promise, which is live streams. Because of the nature of my setup, my equipment is rudimental, as is my internet supply. Currently running off a MiFi thing, if you can believe it, and it's god awful. One of the things that I would always like to do is more live content. I think I'm better live than most people. I think producing me is fine, but I think I'm always a lot sharper, a lot wittier, and a lot more personable live. So being able to produce live content on a regular basis would be amazing, but also to be able to afford to travel, again putting the monetization money up for travel expenses, or getting someone here so that I can sit down with them and interview them in person as opposed to having to deal with that Zoom lag, would be amazing. And finally, to try and sweeten the deal as far as gaming content is concerned, I know a lot of people don't have an interest in indie games but do have an interest in gaming. On a AAA level, I'd be happy to try and invest money in AAA titles. Unfortunately, because again my monetary constraints are such that I can't afford to spend a ton of money on games on a regular basis. I can go on to the Xbox Gold and the Game Pass and things of that nature, but I feel like because that's so cheap, there's a bunch of games on there that people could just play themselves, so there's not really much use in reviewing those games. What is use is reviewing more contemporary, prominent content, which would be great. So I figured if I say to you, look, help me get to 500 subscribers and help me get up to 4,000 watch hours in a year. That's 8. If I get 500 subscribers and each of them watched a portion of that 4,000, it would amount to 8 hours total. It's not a lot for of time when you break it down, but it is a lot because it's not what people want to see. So I want to make the promise that I will try my best to try and do those 5 things in the interim period, but any attempt to do so is going to be significantly helped by the ability to be able to monetize my content and then channel that money into being able to pursue those interests. So I will end on this note. I appreciate from the bottom of my heart and indefinitely indebted to every ounce, every minute of support, every subscribe, every like, every share that anyone has ever given me. There's a few people in particular that I really can't tell them how much I appreciate their support. But this is only the beginning as far as I'm concerned. I want to push this forward. I want to make this a legitimate platform. And one day, I hope to be able to bring in more people and be able to give them the platform that I never had to start with, and start to showcase people doing what it is that they love. That would be amazing. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Let's go on the road to 500 subscribers, and let's get on the road to 4,000 watch hours in a year. 1,255 at the moment, watch hours, 393 subscribers. Let's get 107 subscribers, and let's get everyone watching that content. And let me know how I can do it. Comment section below. Let me know what else you would like me to do. If you like my content, but you don't like me, okay? But if you like me and don't like your content, like the content, tell me what you want to see. Let me see if I can try and meet you in the middle with some of this stuff. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this update video of the Halcyon Show. My name's been Lorne Wisely, your host. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out some of the other videos. I've been posting reviews, like I said, like crazy. Check out some of the interviews. Check out some of my older content. But before you do any of that, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next episode.